Ever been on a job interview and then you're asked to write down some references? Or they want you to list them in an online application? One should never provide references unless asked, but what is the point of a references when the candidate is only going to list the people they know will say good things about them? A letter of recommendation is the best reference one can have in their job search, as it provides trusted verification of your qualifications and character, sheds light on your work ethic and potential for success, demonstrates fit beyond just skills. Recommendation letters from credible sources complement your narrative by vouching for your qualifications from an outside perspective. But the best thing about it is that it stands out from other applicants. Having a strong recommendation letter sets you apart from candidates who only submit resumes and cover letters. It provides an additional data point for employers evaluating your candidacy. When people list their references, they list people who will say nice things about them. They may list a former boss, coworker, or maybe a friend. As a hiring manager, I never asked for references, although some do because somehow it makes them feel better about what their references have to say about the candidate. Sometimes checking references is part of the background check. In companies that asked for job references, I had to call those references to ask questions about the candidate. And honestly, I mostly felt it was a waste of time. I don't think I learned anything new about the candidate from the call. While some believe that speaking to professional references who have directly worked with the candidate provides the employer with first-hand accounts of the candidate's technical and soft skills, strengths, areas for improvement, work style, and overall performance on the job, I mostly disagree. While it's technically legal for a former boss to speak negatively about a former employee, many companies have policies in place that restrict what information can be shared during reference checks. These policies are often in place to minimize the risk of defamation lawsuits and to maintain professionalism in the hiring process. Here are some other reasons. 1. Limited reliability. Some argue that references may not provide an accurate representation of a candidate's abilities or work ethic. References are often carefully selected by the candidate, and they may only provide positive feedback, omitting any negative aspects of the candidate's performance. 2. Subjectivity. References are subjective and can vary widely depending on the relationship between the candidate and the referee. A reference from a close colleague or friend may be biased, while a reference from a former supervisor who had a poor relationship with the candidate may be negative. 4. There are more effective ways to assess a candidate's skills and qualifications, such as through skills assessments, work samples, or behavioral interviews. These methods may provide more objective and reliable information than relying solely on references. 5. Networking and bias. In some cases, job references may primarily serve as a way for candidates to leverage their personal networks rather than providing meaningful insights into their abilities. This can disadvantage candidates who don't have strong professional connections or who come from underrepresented backgrounds. Despite these criticisms, job references still play a role in the hiring process for many employers. Besides a letter of recommendation, the next best asset for a job candidate is an employee referral. Some great things about an employee referral is that it's one of the easiest ways into a company in today's competitive job market. The candidate comes recommended and likely knows at least one person who works for the company who can provide insight, and the employee who recommended the candidate may receive a bonus for the recommendation. What are your thoughts on job references? Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe for more insider tips on job hunting.